The procession of graduates is led by the student's marshal, Dr. Kyung On-yoon, the 2023 recipient of the Presidential Teaching Professor Award, an assistant professor and coordinator of Korean in the Department of Modern Languages, Linguistics, and Intercultural Communication. She is accompanied by our student marshals, Imani Conway, a student in public health, and Evan Sheldon, a student in physics. The faculty and staff procession is led by Dr. Matthew Pelton, the 2023 Presidential Research Professor, Professor in the Department of Physics, and Chair of the Graduate Admissions Committee. He is joined by Ms. Tricia Wells, Staff Marshal, the 2023 Presidential Distinguished Staff Award recipient for exempt staff, and Assistant Vice Provost for the Division of Professional Studies. They are accompanied by a student marshal, Okachukwu Tabubo, a student in computer engineering. The faculty and staff marshals are carrying batons that the UMBC Alumni Association gave to the university in honor of our 40th anniversary in 2006. The platform party is led by the Grand Marshal, Dr. Susan McDonough, President of the Faculty Senate and Associate Professor of History. The Grand Marshal carries the University Mace, a symbol of presidential authority. Used only on formal academic occasions, UMBC's Mace was commissioned by the Alumni Association for UMBC's 20th anniversary in 1986.
The 81st commencement exercises of the University of Maryland, Baltimore County will now be in order. Please remain standing for our national anthem, performed by Regina Catherine Aquino. I think is my mic on? Yes, thank you. Regina is a senior soprano vocal performance major on the pre-nursing track, and she's honored to represent the music department today.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, see, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you so much, Regina. That was a wonderful rendition. Regina has been our singer for the last 3 cycles of graduations, and she's graduating today. So thank you so much. As we welcome you to UMBC, we wish to acknowledge that UMBC was established upon the land of the Piscataway and Susquehannock peoples. Over time, citizens of many more indigenous nations have come to reside in this region. We humbly offer our respects to all past, present, and future indigenous people connected to this place. Now, I am pleased to introduce the 6th president of UMBC, Dr. Valerie Shears Ashby.
Good morning. You may be seated. And now that you're seated, I'll say good morning once again. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, there it is. What a glorious occasion we have today. On behalf of our entire community, it is my privilege to welcome you to the 81st commencement exercises of the University of Maryland, Baltimore County. In addition to this morning's exercises for our undergraduate students, our graduate students were awarded master's and doctoral degrees yesterday in a ceremony yesterday morning. To the families and friends of our graduates this morning, we are simply delighted that you have joined us from near and far to honor and celebrate our outstanding students. I also want to welcome those graduating students, their family members, and friends who are joining us online. Thank you for being a part of today's ceremony. Thank you as well to our faculty and staff, and to my fellow campus leaders who are with us today. To the academic and administrative leaders, shared governance leaders, members of the Commencement Executive Committee, and the Presidential Faculty and Staff Award recipients, welcome and thank you for being here. It is now my privilege to introduce Regent Anwar Hassan, a member of the University System of Maryland Board of Regents. A senior vice president at WSP USA, a leading engineering and professional services consultancy, Mr. Hassan is a civic and business leader with more than 37 years of experience in water and other infrastructure projects around the world. He has a long history of leadership and service in the state of Maryland. Regent Hassan is a former chair of the Maryland Higher Education Commission and former chair of the Governor's Commission on Middle Eastern American Affairs. He has also served as a member of the Governor's P20 Leadership Council and a former member of the Maryland Aviation Administration Commission. Among his many accolades is a 2016 Most Influential Marylander Award. We are pleased to have him here with us today to deliver greetings on behalf of the Board of Regents. Please join me in welcoming Regent Hassan.
Good morning. And congratulations from the University System of Maryland Board of Regents. I want to express my deep appreciation to President Valerie Shears Ashby, her leadership team, and the outstanding faculty and staff here at the UMBC. Thanks to your collective vision, leadership, and hard work, UMBC continues to thrive as an institution of educational excellence and impactful service. But graduates, it is your accomplishment we celebrate today. I know that the path to this day has been long and at times difficult. It is a journey that has tested you and strengthened you, and it ultimately defines you, each of you, as individuals who understand the power of education and who are willing to invest in themselves. Education is really one of the greatest acts of optimism. It is the embodiment of hope, the belief in a better way, the promise of a brighter future. By embracing these possibilities, you now light the way for others to follow. I also want to acknowledge your family and friends, both those who are with you today and those who are here in spirit. I know that they take pride in what you have accomplished. They have shared in your sacrifice and certainly should share in your success today. As you go forward, take what you have learned and use it for good. Give back to the community and the world. Build that brighter future for yourself and for others. Let me conclude by sharing with you 3 pieces of advice. Bring consistency into your life and grow incrementally and not exponentially, and be humble. Don't chase money, but go after the right experience, and money will chase you. And as you get older, your interests and your skills will evolve. Be open to change, and don't be afraid to try something new. Once again, I offer each one of you a well-deserved congratulations, and I wish you all the best in years to come. Thank you, and good luck.
Thank you, Regent Hassan. We appreciate the support of the Board of Regents. On behalf of the scholarly community we call UMBC, I extend my congratulations to our graduates. UMBC's faculty, staff, and administrators held high expectations for you when they welcomed you as a member of the UMBC community. Those expectations were based on your promise as scholars, and today we celebrate your fulfillment of that promise. You will join the tradition of UMBC alumni who, through their lives and through their works, continue to advance our understanding of our humanity, our democracy, our interactions with the natural world, and our efforts to make a positive difference in the lives of others. Your diploma represents not just your academic achievement, but the friendships you formed, the faculty who guided your learning, and the family and friends who supported you along the way. I hope your experience as a member of the UMBC community provided you the opportunity to clarify the values we share together: excellence, commitment, hard work, respect, integrity. So, look to the future. Make the most of the talents bestowed upon you. Extend the resources of your mind and heart. Enjoy a rich life in the knowledge that each day your work and relationships continue to make a difference. Congratulations.
Thank you, Regent Hassan, and also Provost Dowalder, for those inspiring remarks. We are delighted to have both of you with us here today. Graduates and families, today is your day. I know I don't have to tell you how special it is. It is my third commencement as president of the University of Maryland, Baltimore County. But even if it were my 10th or my 20th, I would still be full of joy, as are my colleagues among the faculty and staff of this beloved community. That is because we simply delight in seeing each class that we admit fulfill the promise that we saw in you on day one. Your journeys to this moment are the story of UMBC itself. The story begins in the numbers. Today, we will award 631 bachelor's degrees in Those degrees will be awarded over 30 majors to students from across the state of Maryland, throughout the country, and around the world. The story is also in the context. These graduates, you pivoted and persevered through a global pandemic. You took up fights against inequality, climate change, and a country and a world deeply divided. In this moment, those divisions feel deeper than ever in so many ways, with conflict raging and claiming so many lives around the world. And the impacts of these conflicts and human suffering are stoking fears and anger close to home. And it is at this moment that we once again hear the questioning of higher education. What is its purpose, its value? Is it worth it, they ask. Here's my answer. It is in times of great conflict and great challenge that higher education's purpose is most revealed. Indeed, our mission and our purpose are public. We create knowledge that improves lives. We contribute to the economic development of our communities. We partner with those communities to advance social justice and social responsibility, and to promote health and well-being. And in the culture we foster on this campus, we aim to co-create a community that values wide-ranging perspectives and a diversity of backgrounds and lived experiences. For we know that we cannot achieve excellence without such diversity. We strive to learn from one another, not always to agree, but to work together toward solutions and to engage in respectful discourse across differences as we are forever mindful of our shared humanity. In today's world, This work is more important, more desperately needed than ever. So our mission, our purpose, our why is clear, and we, quite frankly, are privileged to pursue it. But let me turn that question of purpose and why, graduates, to you as individuals. There's a line in our marketing materials, you may have seen it when you applied to UMBC, you may not have seen it. It's meant to convey to prospective students that we are here to help you achieve your goals and to fulfill your dreams. It's a tagline, and it says, "You know why, we know how." That tagline speaks to why you might have chosen to come to UMBC. Maybe you knew that when you arrived. You might have known exactly why you were coming here and what you wanted to do with your life. If you did, and you are still on that same path, congratulations. But for most of us, for many of us, including me, figuring out my why, figuring out the why of your life is a process that may not be straightforward, it may not be comfortable, and it may not be convenient. I want you to know, graduates, that I did not understand my own why until I was in graduate school. As you celebrate your achievements today and look forward to your next steps, I want you to ask yourself that question, why? Reflect on your own why. I often hear students say that they seek a life of purpose, a life that changes the world for the better, and at the same time, they want a life of contentment. The key is to be guided and grounded in your why. The beauty is that why is that personal answer. No one can define it for you, nor is anyone else an authority on your response. It is born out of the complexity of our genetic makeup, out of our environments, experiences, gifts, our talents, and the drive to serve something beyond ourselves. And while we certainly seek the wisdom and experience of others, it is up to each one of us deep down in our core to seek and find that calling. If you know me at all, and many of you do because you've been in my office hours, students, you know that I love organic chemistry. I know. Not everybody does. I love talking about it. I love studying it. I love teaching it. There is a beauty in the certainty and the logic of it, and there's also this beautiful art and visualization of it that I adore. And even with all that love, the first year of graduate school was the hardest academic year of my life. It was as if I was in a class with people who seemed to have already learned the material and were simply there for a refresher course. I remember so clearly the words of the faculty member, not like these wonderful ones sitting in front of you, who told me that my grade in his course was, quote, not stellar, and that I might need to consider a path other than a PhD. While I recovered with the help of incredible mentoring, I had no idea that I was actually developing necessary human credentials. Experiencing graduate school in that way was humbling in ways that I did not even realize I needed to be humbled. It also gave me a sense of empathy that is palpable to me to this day. I didn't know it then, but my primary purpose in graduate school was not to learn polymer chemistry, although I love it, or to create knowledge in biological materials. My primary purpose was to acquire and to deepen the human credentials that I lacked. I needed empathy and humility. I didn't know it at the time, but the answer to my why is to teach and to encourage, both of which are impossible to do from a pedestal and without human connection. So when a student comes to my office hours now, even now, struggling and confused and says something to me like, you probably could not even begin to understand why I'm confused because you probably never had this struggle, I say to them, try me. Because I actually have been where you are. So if you do not yet know your personal answer to why or where that place of meaning and purpose and power is for you, pay attention when you struggle, when your resources alone are insufficient for the task at hand. If you examine those experiences and let them teach you something, you might discover your most valuable credentials, your purpose, your people, your power to change lives, your personal answer to why. And even if you have already found your why, you will discover that your purpose deepens and evolves over time. So you have to keep asking the question and make sure that you are not taking on someone else's why. Be assured, your gift, your individual why is a gift to all of us. And all of the whys in this room add up to a beautiful purpose. And so I wish for you many things, graduates, but most of all, I wish for you that each of you will find that deep meaning, that purpose, and that why, and that you will have the courage and the determination to live it and share it with the world. Congratulations to all of our graduates. I now ask Provost Dowalder to join me in the conferring of the degrees. It's what you've been waiting for, we know.
President Shears Ashby, as Chief Academic Officer of the university, it's my pleasure to declare the convocation officially open for the awarding of earned degrees. Graduates, please stand. They're a good-looking bunch.
It is a good-looking bunch.
Yeah. President Shears Ashby, I have the honor of presenting the candidates recommended by the faculty of the University of Maryland, Baltimore County for the degrees of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Fine Arts, and Bachelor of Science.
Graduates, upon the recommendation of the faculty and by the authority of the state of Maryland, given to the Board of Regents and the Chancellor of the University System of Maryland, and by them entrusted to me, I hereby admit you to the degrees which you have earned during the course of your studies at the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, in token whereof you shall be given a diploma with all of the honors, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto pertaining.
Thank you all. Graduates, please be seated until directed by a commencement staff member. Before we invite graduates to cross the stage, we want first to share this short video recognizing our graduates who are participating virtually. Please help us celebrate them by cheering.
Riley Atanasov, Allison Carol Blair, Emily Ann Bluford, magna cum laude, Jocelyn C. Bonney, John Philip Pineda Cabrera II, Denise Chen, cum laude, Chelsea Marie Cole, summa cum laude, Amira Algendi, cum laude, Justin Willard Gilchrist, Stephen Michael Hudikoff, magna cum laude. Samuel T. Lee Xue. Ni Xuan Lu. Alphonse Mubu. Shadia Nahar. Stephanie Parker. Nishi Rakesh Patel. Parini Shukla. Erica Emilienne Ngande Chuosi. Barak Tona, cum laude. Chidozi Daryl Ukwandu.
Today, each graduate will receive a memento from the UMBC Alumni Association. Representing the Alumni Association Board of Directors today is Mr. Kevin Yang. Kevin is one of over 90,000 UMBC alumni worldwide. He graduated with a bachelor's degree in computer science in 2007 and is founder of KRY Properties. Please join me in thanking Kevin for his support of UMBC. I now call upon Kimberly Moffitt, Dean of the College of the Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences.
Good morning. President Shears Ashby and Provost DeWalder, I have the honor of welcoming the inspiring and empowered students from the College of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences who have completed all requirements for the degrees of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Fine Arts, and Bachelor of Sciences.
Bachelor's candidates in the College of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences. We now present the graduates in Africana Studies. Anthony Earl Duval Diallo. We now present the graduates in Ancient Studies. Haley Forsythe. Logan McGuire Siri. We now present the graduates in Asian Studies. Kainoa Jace Sitman. We now present the graduates in Dance. Jasmine Glaze. We now present the graduates in Economics. Santino Antonelli. Edward Asante. Pia Bonsall. Regis James Brakoski. Selwyn Lee Brown. Matasam Omar S. Bukshan. Dion Trinita Cobb. Jeremy Michael DeWittowicz, magna cum laude. Joshua DeWittowicz, cum laude. Luke Enzo Dongara, magna cum laude. Brooke McQuillan Gallagher, magna cum laude. Blake Hardin. Andrew William Horrocks. Charles Dean Hunt. Catherine Sun Kyung Kim, summa cum laude. Ina Zainab Nuha Kuyate. Benjamin Wilson Lamp. Vendela Lundgren, cum laude. Jonathan David Mahano. Aaron Deshawn Mallory. Logan Reed Mitchell. Luis Antonio Moreno. Mahum Nassim. Hans Jacob Larson Nesheim, magna cum laude. Saad Saeed. Nathaniel Bondoc Selburo, Joshua Caleb Shakarji, Kiet Tran, Janatul Ferdaus Tanya, cum laude, Jordan Travers, Adamaris Julissa Rios, Yunjong Mohammed Abbas Warach, Shirley Young, magna cum laude. We now present the graduates in English. Zain Elizabeth Ali, summa cum laude. Patricia Ann Brosnan. Christopher Alexander Mavronicolas, cum laude. Chad Joseph Purnell. We now present the graduates in Geography and Environmental Systems. Thirandi Dumini Bombaradenia. Joseph Allen Bennett. Aaron K. Chin, cum laude. Jonah Christian Colebrook, cum laude. Jenny Marie Hardman, summa cum laude. Amul Bilkis Hussein. Sarah Grace Johnson. Michael Robert Kulo. Nathan Law, magna cum laude. Alexander Maher. Christopher M. Miles. Khalil Ahmed Nadim. Ethan Michael S. Pelliccioni. Micah M. Polsky, magna cum laude. Camille S. Rohde. Isabella Santoni Chavez. Langston Elijah Smith. Lydia G. Tedros. Andrew Ira Van Kirk. Samuel Weaver. We now present the graduates in Global Studies. Violetta Adelaida Brito. Juliet Gellert, magna cum laude. Maria Fernanda Gomez. Elshadi Lewell. Jeremiah A. Malloy. We now present the graduates in History. Kenneth Arthur Ernstberger. Christian Moises Galvez. Julia Hope Palmer, magna cum laude. Charalampos Papacharalampus. Thomas Pate, magna cum laude. Dakota Acura Pereira. Darwin Reyes, cum laude. Melissa Andrea Williamson, magna cum laude. We now present the graduates in Media and Communication Studies. Alexander Luster Bach. Rui Benfica. Taylor Calhera. Rachel Daniel. Trinell Roberts Edwards. Austin F. Hood. Spencer Lee Gaynor. Daniel Glennon. Howard Johnson. Stephanie Elizabeth Marceron, magna cum laude. Kylie Milan Merritt. Ade Damilola Oleteru Olebegi. Lily Stevens. Chase A. Wydell. We now present the graduates in Modern Languages, Linguistics, and Intercultural Communication. August Alfano, cum laude. Chad Blackman. Devin Bonds, magna cum laude. Isabella B. Cordoba, magna cum laude. Catherine Adrienne Forsyth. Josephina Victoria Holtzman, magna cum laude. Simone Koning, magna cum laude. Deanna M. Lynch. Dion McRae, magna cum laude. Erica Perdomo Canales. We now present the graduates in music. Sonia Borenstein. Regina Catherine Jimenez Aquino. Brandon Dakota Gwynn. Angela M. Hayward. Connor James Wiggs Lefebvre, cum laude. Aaron Leonard Patrick Statham. We now present the graduates in political science. Sean Abraham. George Armando Alfaro. Khaled Al-Qadar Al-Ahmed. Eric Averno Ruby Jr., cum laude. Amina Bora, magna cum laude. Evan Joseph Finnegan. James Gimiri. Hamza S. Khan. Christopher A. Murphy. Malcolm Ostrander, cum laude. Natalie J. Perez. Asia Rodriguez, cum laude. Rebecca E. Rodriguez Jimenez. Eric Kenneth Saunders II. Michaela Lee Wiles, magna cum laude. We now present the graduates in psychology. Mariam Mohammed Abdel Shafi, magna cum laude. Leslie Judith Alcantara. Sahid Ayomipose Akorede. Ranye Allen. Rocio Elena Alvarado. Loren Ananda Armstrong. Elise Benitez. Michael Alexander Blunt. Kevin Alexander Brock, cum laude. Georgina P. Brown. Leanne Marie Carr, cum laude. Maria Chavez. Hannah Christie. Maddox Clark. Danielle Madison DePauler. Afi Leticia Gisenu. Taylor Downs. Adam Mamdou El Safi, magna cum laude. Susan E. English. Leah Larissa Umbule Enongane. Claudia Esliquit. Jacqueline Garcia, magna cum laude. Caitlin Tracy Guyman, magna cum laude. Leah Gazei. Jamie Nicole Gorham, magna cum laude. Maya Lynn Jugo Graham. Jordan Kelly Gray. Shifa I. Huck, magna cum laude. Mariah Healy. Deja Henderson. Krista Lynn Hertzfeld. Megan Lynn Heinlein, cum laude. Fatima Firdos Khan, cum laude. Abdel Rahim A. Hussein, cum laude. Inkem Vanessa Igade. Sneha Jumpan. Yuksana Naomi Jaramillo. Nola Rianne Johns. Annalise Nastasia Jones. Alishba Kamal. Marab Khan. Aster Kim. Elisha Youngsu Kim. Kyle McDaniel Knotts. Anusha Kumari. Madison Lape. Lena Tu Lee. Miriam Lerner. Yvette Maduro. Amina Martinez. David Martinez. Ariel Mathwin. Megan Matiga. William Moss. Catherine Riley Michael. Nicole Del Carmen Montano. Connor Most. Mariama R. Ndo, cum laude. Mahira Niazi. Nicole Chiniz Onyenye On, cum laude. Jaya Amari Parker. Naveen Paku, magna cum laude. Crystal Pedersen. Carla Portales Rivera. Milena Prather. Twara Preswala. John Puja. Olivia Kathleen Rowe. Leslie Romero, cum laude. Andrew Jacob Rosario, magna cum laude. Jorge Jesus Saucedo. Lauren Mary Schiller, magna cum laude. Devin Nicole Sexton, magna cum laude. Alexander Skelton. Brett Emery Souder. Maha N. Suhail, cum laude. April Thomas, magna cum laude. Simran Udin. Juan Camilo Valderrama, cum laude. Yamel Belen Valeriano Ortiz. Natalie Ann Vernigor. Tayana Kiara Watkins. Sheila West. Zachary Sung J. Willis. Dylan Wolf, magna cum laude. Savannah Denise Wright. Daisy Anna Youngman. Peihong Zhou. We now present the graduates in Sociology, Anthropology, and Public Health. Amina Abu Bakr. Sabira Anjum. Amina Noreen Aslam. Fatima Ijaz Olak. Rosie V. Ayala. Temitope Oluwasheyun Bashua. Danielle Cisse. Elaine Ruth Cornick. Julie Tan Tam Do, magna cum laude. Francine R. Ellis. Ikra Fatima. Victoria Tololope Fatunbi. Madeline Grace Freem, cum laude. Dimitri Marlon Garner, cum laude. Taylor Lynn Gernert. Marquita Houston. Jamira Johnson. Stephen Utian Johnson. Nicole Marie Krug. James Collier Lehman, cum laude. Joanna Lynn, magna cum laude. Daniel Madamami, summa cum laude. Rihanna Nambi Ngobi. Ria Jamin Patel. Krupa Rami, magna cum laude. Ramsha Raza, cum laude. Nefeli Robertson, summa cum laude. Mazyar Sartip. Anmol Sharma, magna cum laude. Nathan Clay Souter, cum laude. Simone Janae Wiseman. Hafsa Zgidu, magna cum laude. We now present the graduates in theater. Terrell Anthony Bethel, summa cum laude. Caleb Madison Griffith. Oriana Estefania Montes, cum laude. Endora Roden. Mary Grace Rubens, magna cum laude. Alexandra Renee Tremper, cum laude. Richard E. Verbaten. We now present the graduates in visual arts. Oluwabemiya Oyeniyi Ayeni. Megan Alicia Calero. Patricia B. Hatley, magna cum laude. Janae Jacobs, cum laude. Alexis Dean Jones. Nee Lee, magna cum laude. Talia Laredo. Francisco Javier Pablo, cum laude. Cynthia Soria, cum laude.
I now call upon Shelley Wiekelt, Associate Dean and Chair of the School of Social Work.
Good morning. President Shears Ashby and Provost Stallwater, I have the honor of welcoming the compassionate and courageous students from the School of Social Work who have completed all the requirements for the degree of Bachelor of Arts.
Bachelor's candidates in the School of Social Work. We now present the graduates in social work. Iyanu Adebusola Ajibade, Vanessa Bendanya, Jahaira Marilyn Gomez Martinez, Georgiana Belinda Harrington, Jan Errol Egnonam Hundayi, Naya Josette Rabi Karai, Christopher Benjamin Levanto, magna cum laude, Tracy Elizabeth Lewis, cum laude, Jocelyn Abigail Lopez Marchoro, Olivia Longus, Fatima Areli Monje Funes, Rebecca Monteroso Branch, Brendan O'Connell, Alexis Christina Pollock, Regan Carolina Presley, magna cum laude, Hanan Harvey Sinocrat, Azaria Smith, Angelica Rosemary Thompson, Kimberly Hope Tubaya, Abigail Marie Waters,
I now call upon Dana Burr Bradley, Dean of the Erickson School of Aging Studies.
Good morning, President Shears Ashby, Provost DeWalder. I have the honor of welcoming the aspirational, accomplished, and age-friendly students from the Erickson School of Aging Studies who have completed all the requirements for the degree of Bachelor's of the Arts.
bachelor's candidates in the Erickson School of Aging Studies. We now present the graduates in Management of Aging Services. Charlene D. Myers-Avery,
I now call upon William LaCourse, Dean of the College of Natural and Mathematical Sciences.
President Shears Ashby, Provost DeWalter. I have the honor of welcoming the brilliant and remarkable students from the College of Natural and Mathematical Sciences who have completed all requirements for the degrees of Bachelor of Science and the Bachelor of Arts.
bachelor's candidates in the College of Natural and Mathematical Sciences. We now present the graduates in Biochemistry and Molecular Biology. Megan Rosalie Brandt, summa cum laude. Rachel Railing. We now present the graduates in Biological Sciences. Itunde Venus Oluwabamileke Abusede, Ikeolua O Adeloye, Adebayo Ademuyiwa Adetunji, Valerie Jan Uberis Apelin, Kayla Arujo, Adamaris Jacqueline Arias, Elsie Tutuwa Asiedu, Mayokun F. Akinrotimi, Noor Aslam, Atia Bakhtiar, Suyog Baral, Zara Batul, Anukriti Bhargava, Cora Blunt, cum laude. Rushana Bobajonova, cum laude. Taylor Renee Bruno, Hongfei Tsai, Namira Abdullah, Joshua Miguel Lim Camacho, cum laude. Caleb Chungda Chang, James Min Hyung Cho, Aritra Chowdhury. Mahira Mahmood Chaudhry, summa cum laude. Sheila Delju Karani, summa cum laude. Kenneth Albert Dolan. Genevieve Leah D'Souza. Marjorie 16 Clara Ibang Umbulu. Namra Fayaz, cum laude. David Funes. Meira Goldstein, summa cum laude. Nicholas William Grice. Alessandra Bethany Haywood. Migumi Hibino. Brandon Gustav Hilkirk. Taylor Lauren Johnson. Porsche Derek Lamine Kargbo, cum laude. Azar Haider Kazmi, magna cum laude. Sovan V. Kumar, summa cum laude. Jaden Rain Lapitra. Julie Lee. Sophia M. Liberto, magna cum laude. Zachary Evan Lowe. Napoleon Palacio Magpante. Shanil Anise McCullum. Aidan J. McLean. Mamuna Nasser, summa cum laude. Brooke Ryan Nelson, summa cum laude. Hannah Tukuyan Nguyen, summa cum laude. Rebecca Namtran Nguyen, summa cum laude. Adam Chumbe Njai, magna cum laude. Sansia Suzanne Oman. Joanna Michelle Panamino. Shaylee Parikh. Joel Persad. Tina Tam Pham, magna cum laude. Chizimuzo Jose Maria Nwokike. Abel Temketem. Labib Rana. William Francis Ryan. Casey Nicole Santoro. Shubi Saxena, cum laude. Nicholas David Schaefer. Jalen Lee Reinard Stock, magna cum laude. Hansa M. Sayed. Rajan Thummer, cum laude. Xinyen Tu. Kirsten White. Julia Dimsanuam Zikim, summa cum laude. We now present the graduates in Translational Life Sciences Technology. Evelyn Antizana. Lloyd Winston Jones III. Marvalee Yaneth Molina Torres. Quinn Nu Nguyen, cum laude. We now present the graduates in Chemistry and Biochemistry. Crystal Abhilashi. Olive Delaney Bayer, summa cum laude. Yam Tao Chung. Benjamin Thomas Cole, summa cum laude. Sophia Heller. Angela Taeyeon Kim. Emmanuel Chalachu Sisai, cum laude. We now present the graduates in Mathematics and Statistics. Kaushik V. Basavaraju. Patrick James Beach. Madison Jamie Christ, magna cum laude. Margaret Mary David. Roger Kenneth Frazier, cum laude. Grace Harness. Ian Curtis Lang, summa cum laude. Rebecca Camille Mann, cum laude. Alyssa M. Robbins. KG Twessigi. We now present the graduates in physics. Daniel Richard Brown. Dmitry Gapiv.
I now call upon Anupam Joshi, Oros Family Professor and Acting Dean of the College of Engineering and Information Technology.
Good morning. President Chairs Ashby, Provost Walter, I have the distinct honor of welcoming the resilient and triumphant students from the College of Engineering and Information Technology who have completed all requirements for the degree of Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science.
Bachelor's candidates in the College of Engineering and Information Technology. We now present the graduates in Chemical, Biochemical, and Environmental Engineering. Ethan Seth Cantrell. Saira Abigail Castillo Diaz. Eunice Costanzo. Thomas William McLaughlin, cum laude. We now present the graduates in Computer Science and Electrical Engineering. Adrian Lance Isio Ablis. Kabir Oluwadamilola Alabi. Zachary Carl Amos, cum laude. Demilade David Animashan, magna cum laude. Michael Chidiabera Anuro, summa cum laude. Sean Majid Arfa Russo. Xavier Avery. Adam Barrow. Daniel E. Bates. Trey Barr. Aidan Zachary Bauer, cum laude. McKenna Grace Bevan, magna cum laude. Demaquie Bisco. Matthew Robert Blades, cum laude. Dinora Giselle Blanco. Devin Sylvester Brown. Jameson Carpenter. Rachel A. Chambers, cum laude. Eric Union Chen, summa cum laude. Daniel Glenn Chili, summa cum laude. Daniel Lev Cohen, magna cum laude. Alexander Hamilton Kolarik, cum laude. Clayton Crownover. Christina Natmin Dow, cum laude. Samuel William Denoncourt, magna cum laude. Abel Akle Dereji. David Scott DeVere. Matthias Samuel Durgon, magna cum laude. Rachel Adebola Fadaka. Chloe Farrell, cum laude. Noah Kifle Fitzum. Yves Noel Inkanganyi Forbang. James Fong, cum laude. Kai S. Gabinet Bethul. Avi Glassman, magna cum laude. Bridget Ray Godfrey. Christopher Gray. Sajel Lou Gutierrez Moulton. Sanjaya Gawali, summa cum laude. Sophia Parha Hassan, magna cum laude. Justin Lee Hendershot, Samuel Thomas Hessel. Brandon Lee Hill, cum laude. Andy Huang. Jada Ashana Hughes, cum laude. Tyler Joseph Hurst, summa cum laude. Sage Everett Jackson. Dylan Alexander Jenkins, cum laude. Faison Reta Kasai. Auguste Basil Romeo Kiandrabiogo, cum laude. David Ledbetter, magna cum laude. Connor Christian Lehner. Young Rui Lo. Jacob Lucas Long, magna cum laude. Isabella Carolina Lopez, cum laude. Welson Mack, magna cum laude. Michael Kim Maiden, magna cum laude. Aislinn I. Marino. Andrew Shane Mayhew. Bryant Fernan Mejia Reyes, magna cum laude. Hoi Kwok Win. Thomas Tin Win, cum laude. Amin Kang Nkeng. Kamsiochi Chukwumeka Ebenezer Nwiwu, cum laude. Emmanuel Oluwasore Olabanji. Rodrigo Javier Pardo. Devul Arun Patel. Tan Pham. Jacob Pickholtz. Benjamin Polyakov, cum laude. Colby Nicholas Rood. Alexander Nathan Rutloff. Freddie J. Santos Diaz. Daniel Sohail, cum laude. Sushanya Surisan, magna cum laude. Alias Garteabi. Kyle Julian Thomas, cum laude. Felisa Erica Joy Mariano Torres. Chinyeri Imiakame Ukeje. An Huang Vu. Rostam Burumand Rod. Matthew Parsons, cum laude. Dylan Reese Wilmoth, cum laude. Franco Emmanuel Camilet Maxey, magna cum laude. Yao Zheng. Michael Joshua Parchment. Ahmad Karim Sayad, summa cum laude. Hamza Mohsin Ansari. Yusuf Mustafa Siddiqui. Safia Sheikh. Rajat Suresh Shetty. Aidan Dylan Shipperly. We now present the graduates in Information Systems. Samuel J. Adams, cum laude. Ayman Aden. Soham Adhikari. Prabsimran Singh Aurora, cum laude. Mohammed Niyaz Beg, cum laude. Ehsan Nadim Beg. Richard G. Barber. Sriram Bachu, magna cum laude. Jawan Blunt. Christine Andrea Boyer, cum laude. Jewel Michelle Jeanne Brown. Leanne Bulbul. Abrar Kashif Chaudhry, summa cum laude. Soraya Deanne Clark McMillan, cum laude. Collins Dominic Costa. Patrick Daniel Conway, summa cum laude. Cameron Xander Cope. Shazan M. Daya. Richard A. Daniel. James Andrew Dennison, magna cum laude. Ginenus Desalin, magna cum laude. Mirta M. Dominguez Garcia. DeAndre J. Drummond. David Ty Edwards. Nazim Martin Elliott Jr. Sabi Fahim, cum laude. Dorwin Jose Garcia. Sanjana George. Shady Garib. Joao Otavio Griesinger Veloso. Anthony Samuel Gomez, cum laude. Aman Gurung. Ali Yehya Hassanin. Shajen Salah Hamza, summa cum laude. Christoph Haddad. Dolfikar Hussain. Arub Iqbal, cum laude. Viraj Prashant Jasani, cum laude. Kristen Jones. Zipporah Jones Hamlin. Samir Amjad Khan. Milan Kadka. Sandhya Sarah Kandagale, magna cum laude. Jackson Alexander Kelly. Khaiser Khan, magna cum laude. Sephora Kola. Fee Lee. Abu Bakr Lemon, magna cum laude. Andy Lowe. Fahad Mahmood. Beryl Oluwajoba Malamo, cum laude. Serena Blackford McDonald. Tumani Usman Minte. Billy Wanjala. Christopher Niang. Zig Alistair B. Obana. Nahom Kelalaw Nages. Trevin Tursil Nisbet, cum laude. Justin Wynn. Afam Obiora, cum laude. Thomas Alexander Beasley Owens. Jaya Bhavagna Bhabiseti, cum laude. Amira Patel, cum laude. Rubama Jihan Patwari. Brian Ankung Pham, cum laude. Talib Pierre, magna cum laude. Parth Patel. Zankana B. Patel, cum laude. Madhabhanjan Pani. Jacob Daniel Rajesh. Nicholas Randava, magna cum laude. Alexander Madison Rollet, cum laude. Nidhi Bharat Kumar Rami. Fatima Raza. Stephen A. Rivera Cortez. Harshita Saini, cum laude. Alexander Kenneth Sherman. Sachi Neet Singh, cum laude. Keven Ariel D. Songking. Ben Peter Steele. Andrew McGuire Stein, magna cum laude. Arun Subramanian. God's Favor Jonah Sunday, cum laude. Ashley Elizabeth Sunderland. Jacob Such. Tartila Tabasum, cum laude. Aditi Talwar, cum laude. Andrea Sofia Tejada Garcia. Donate M. Tikuye. John Raven Espanola II, cum laude. Dereje Ambaya Tlahun. Salman Rahmatullah. Kennedy M. Vaughn, cum laude. Arseny Vasilchenko. Dikembe Ali Warner. Christopher H. Way. Amina Cheyenne Weeks. Jordan White. Kiran Yarlagada. Monique T. Yuen. We now present the graduates in Mechanical Engineering. Jad M. Abisale. Darius Anthony Adams. Victor Adeoye Adebanjo. Olufemi Olukayode Ajayi, cum laude. Paige Arthur. Abinwi B. Acha. Nicole Attram, cum laude. Tyler John Autry. Brandon Michael Kraft Bitts, magna cum laude. Tamia Francisca Bowers. Kendall Broom. Daniel Chuchra, cum laude. Elizabeth Warfield Daniels. John Leo Dixon Burke, cum laude. Yasin Sehu Drame. Ethan L. Dronberger. Ejiro Egene Emmanuel Edema, cum laude. Albert Efremov. C.J. Escobar, cum laude. Shuaib Farouk. Albert Kobina Gums. Ahmed Ismail. Hua Huang Donglei. Andrew London. Christopher Jordan McCormick. Lanai McGuire, cum laude. Azana McQuanant. Alyssa Marie Minnick. Jacob Cole Moran. Brandon Mudd. Davinus Ejiba Muteba. Jacob Andrew Murphy, magna cum laude. Kyle Addison Nikenji. Nikolaos Stavros Patrikios. Adam Richard Peck, magna cum laude. Daniel Shane Quinn. Christian Pohl. Onkar Singh Reiki. Juan Rodriguez, cum laude. Frederick August Snaviat. Christian Xavier Soto Monet, magna cum laude. Jillian Grace Taylor, summa cum laude. Alex Jordan Chamba Tessa. Jack Thompson. Cesar Estuardo Turcios Salguero. Andrew Udo. Nathaniel Azarco Welbeck. Theodore Haldeman Wise. Jonathan Wadarchik, cum laude. Kyle Stephen Yingling. Thomas Frederick Yost.
And I now call upon Catherine Cole, Dean of the Division of Undergraduate Academic Affairs.
President Shears Ashby, Provost DeWalder, I have the true honor of welcoming the passionate and innovative students from the Division of Undergraduate Academic Affairs who have completed all requirements for the degrees of Bachelor of Science and Bachelor of Arts.
Bachelor's candidates in the Division of Undergraduate Academic Affairs. We now present the graduates in Individualized Study. Laura Emily Anko Bakri, cum laude. Mohammed Khalid Mohammed. Sheikh Rose Rashid.
Congratulations to all of our graduates. Let's give them all another round of applause. Now I invite each of you to participate in a wonderful tradition to symbolize your accomplishments, the turning of the tassels from right to left. Congratulations, class of 2023. Congratulations. Now, please join me in welcoming the UMBC Camerata and Jubilee Singers to lead us in the singing of our alma mater. After the alma mater, we ask that you remain at your seats. Our program will be concluded by our Grand Marshal, and then the platform party and students will recess. Please wait to leave until the platform party has left the floor. Will all of you who can, please stand now for the singing of the alma mater. The words can be found on the back of your program.
Hail, alma mater, our UMBC, boldly bearing your colors, the whole world to see, striving
I now invite the Grand Marshal, Dr. Susan McDonough, to conclude our ceremony.
Will everyone kindly remain standing until the platform party has recessed? Families and friends are asked to meet their graduates outside the arena. On behalf of the UMBC community, I wish you congratulations, everyone!
Thank you.